I want to leave the whole map intact. The phases, the levels, the breakthroughs, the plateaus. Keep all of it. Suspend your scrutiny for the next 10 minutes and assume the maps are accurate. Because I want to ask a different question. Why does it have to take so long? Almost every spiritual book, every teacher, every tradition, every contemporary speaker carries pretty much the same underlying assumption. They might point in different directions, use different language, but most agree that the thing they're pointing at takes time to reach. That it's years of practice, purification, stringing glimpses together, and waiting for the big one. That it's integration, shadow work, phases with names like awakening, dark night of the soul, liberation, the whole landscape of stages. Each one earned, each one deserved, and each one requiring the last one to be complete before this one can begin. And I'm not going to argue with these today. Not at all. I want to leave the whole map intact. The phases, the levels, the breakthroughs, the plateaus. Keep all of it. Suspend your scrutiny for the next 10 minutes and assume the maps are accurate. Because I want to ask a different question. Why does it have to take so long? Because time inside you is strange. A car nearly hits you, and a full second stretches into something you can walk around inside. You fall asleep and 7 hours just vanish. You sit in a waiting room and 20 minutes become a whole era because there's no internal clock that matches the external one. So here's the experiment. Take the whole spiritual journey with all its phases and gates and transformations, leave all of that intact. And ask what happens if it doesn't need years, or months, or weeks. What if the dark night of the soul lasted 2 seconds? What if liberation took the time it takes to blink? And if that sounds absurd to you right now, think about this. How long does it take to forgive someone? Think about it for a second. Maybe it's your parents, because nobody's perfect. Someone who hurt you badly. Someone you've been carrying with you for years. Or yourself, for the things you did and the things you didn't do. How long? I am not asking how long until you're ready to forgive, because that's a whole different question. That's the story of getting ready, of accumulating something, of becoming someone who can finally let go. Take as long as you want with that part. I have no opinion about it. That's yours. I'm asking about the moment itself, the actual letting go. The shift in your chest when the hurt stops being something you're holding. How long does that take? It's an instant, isn't it? There's a moment where you're holding it and the moment where you're not. And there's nothing in between. The tears come after, the relief comes after, the bottled up everything comes flooding after. All that aftermath takes time, but the thing itself has no duration at all. And it's nothing really mystical. And at the same time, it's one of the most transformative things that can happen in a human life. Now hold that next to the spiritual map. Everything they describe, the awakening, the surrender, the dropping of the self, the recognition, the falling away, whatever language your tradition uses. What if it has the same structure as forgiveness? What if all the duration belongs to the getting ready part, and the thing itself has no duration at all? What if you've been treating it like digesting a meal, like something with weight and volume, and that something that has to move through you over time? And it was the other thing, the shift with no width. Look, there isn't really a process. There's no achievement. I don't think awakening is a thing that happens to a person who didn't have it before. But you're here and you're looking for something, and I want to meet you where you are. So even from inside the seeking, even if you take the whole map at face value, the time assumption is doing something to you. It's the mechanism that keeps the search alive. Every time you accept that this needs years, you've now placed the thing you want one more step into the future. You've made yourself into someone who isn't ready yet. Someone who has to grow taller first. Or someone who has to read the next book. Sit with the next teacher. Finish the next retreat. Do the next practice. Spiritual seeking survives on that delay. But remove the delay and there's nothing left for it to feed on. Look, you might think your particular stage requires something specific. Maybe it's surrender or acceptance. Maybe it's recognizing what you already are. I'm really not going to argue with whatever your map is saying is needed right now. I'm just going to ask the time question again. If what's needed is complete surrender, accepting the past for what it was, allowing the future to be whatever it will be, allowing what is now to be what it is, and releasing the grip on monitoring and controlling and striving and believing and even being someone in particular. How long does all that take? Not how long until you're ready. How long does the thing itself take once it happens? Why a year from today, after the right videos and the right practices? Why next month, after the speaker you haven't met yet? Why next week, when you finish that book that's on your nightstand right now? Why tomorrow, after the psychedelic experience that you have planned for you? Why an hour from now? Why 5 seconds from now when this video ends? Why not now?